Hey, it's BitBurner here, and I'm going to show you guys how to get TouchOSC on the iPad or iPhone working with Ableton Live Intro. If you don't have Ableton Live Intro, you can download a demo. This is going to be mostly PC specific. I've changed, kind of some of the way they've shown the website on their the setup on their website and stuff. It was kind of, to me, it was convoluted, and I just really wanted to simplify it and show you guys how to do this so that you guys can get in there and actually start doing some music and stuff with your iPad right in Ableton Live. So this is really cool once it's working. So let me share with you what you need. Once you buy the TouchOSC, I think it's like 20 bucks or 15 bucks or 10 bucks. I can't remember what it is. But you'll need to go to their website, and I'll put the links and all this to all this stuff in the actual description of the video. But what you need to do is you need to get the editor. So you'll download the Windows editor. I've already got that. You'll also need the TouchOSC bridge. You will also need that, so we'll download that. And so here's the TouchOSC bridge. Now I've already installed it, and it is running right now. So more about that in a little bit, and then there has to be all these pieces. So some of the other pieces that we need is there's a piece for called Live Control that is basically the layout for TouchOSC for Ableton Live. So this is where that editor comes in, where we'll load the template up and load it onto your iPad or iPhone, so you'll have that template. And into Ableton Live and stuff. All right, so here we go. So we'll download this for Windows. I've already downloaded this, and the last thing, this is kind of my piece, is the Loop BE1. Loop BE1 is just one virtual MIDI cable. If you've got a lot of virtual stuff going on, you could use Loop BE30, and it actually has 30. This is way harder to understand. If you just get Loop BE and install it, it'll run in your system tray. And all will be good as long as it doesn't say, here I'll bring this up, as long as it doesn't say mute. You don't want it muted because that would mute the MIDI stream. So more on this later once we get into Ableton and stuff. So I got Loop PE installed. I've got my TouchOSC editor. I don't have to install it, it just runs right here. It's just an exe. And I've got the TouchOSC bridge installed. So the TouchOSC bridge is also running. I'll bring this up. All you see here is an about box. So it's just a little software that runs in the tray that needs to be going. This Live Control, which is the complete control for Ableton Live, which is I was talking about that you'll need to download. This is the kind of weird part. Okay, so there's a few parts we have to do. One, you need to have Java installed because you need to install or run this installer here for that. Basically, this all installs all the components into the Ableton part. So when this actually runs, if I double click this jar file and run it, it'll actually ask me where the actual installation of Ableton Live is. So in my case, yeah, oh, there it is. Duh. All right, there's Ableton Live, and that's it. That's basically where I have Live. So next, yes. So it's saying I already had an existing directory because I'd already done this. So boom, done that part. Jar's done. Now see these little pieces right here. This is the Live Control layout for the iPhone, and this is the Live Control layout for the iPad. So here's what we need to do. We need to open up that editor. So I'm going to open up the editor. And the other thing I need to do is have TouchOSC going on my iPad, which I do. Okay, so I've got iPad here. Actually, say open, and I'll go into my Live. Whoops, went into the wrong folder. Live Control Win. Here it is, the iPad. That's what I'm setting it up for, and you see it has all the layout here for the iPad. And everything's all done for me. Now all I have to do is sync it. So here's a sync button. I click on the sync button, and in a second here I get a little a window that says that I need to make sure that my iPad is on or iPhone is on the Wi-Fi network, same one, and that I need to go into TouchOSC and go to Layout and Add. So here I am in my TouchOSC. I go to Layout here, and I go to Add. And you'll see the host there. And it says it's overriding because I already have this, but now you can see the live control iPad is selected, and that's what I needed to do. All right, so I'm done. And so now you can see that I have the layout on my iPad. All right, so that part's done. I can stop the syncing. So what it did is it copied this to my device and then installed all the stuff into Ableton that I needed. All right, so there is one more part in here under the live control. It's this little box right here, live control. So I'm going to run this, and when we have our loop BE actually installed, loop BE will show up as the internal MIDI port. This is our internal MIDI port that we want to use. We are connecting to the iPad through the TouchOSC bridge, but we need to connect to Ableton Live with the Loop BE internal MIDI cable. So when we go into Ableton, we'll be sure to set the Loop BE cable as the in and out, so that basically we hand off to Loop BE, which hands off to the connected device. So I know it's kind of convoluted, but bear with me. This needs to remain running, so you notice it has no close here. I'm just going to minimize it. All right. So now I'm going to bring up my Ableton, and I have a demo project loaded here, and I'll make this window smaller so we can see it. And I want to go into options and go into preferences, and I'm going to go onto the MIDI sync tab. And I want to make sure that the control surface is set to live control TO, which is for the TouchOSC. Next is another important part. Most people will try to want to do the TouchOSC bridge from here and connect with the TouchOSC bridge. You can't do that. You can't go directly to the bridge. You have to go through the Loop BE virtual MIDI cable first, then it hands it off to the bridge. Okay, so we're going to turn on the Loop BE internal MIDI on and the Loop BE internal MIDI on here, and we should be good. Let's go back here and we go to the info, and on this, there it is. This is a very important part too. There is some default ports that's being used to communicate through that bridge, and it's kind of vague on which ports are actually being used and which ones come on and default. But I did some testing, and these are the default ports, the 5000 for the outgoing and the 5001 for the incoming. All right, so that's that. I'll go back to here to my interface on here. Okay, good. So we've got this piece, got all the pieces in place with the preferences, the on to the Loop BE. Here we have Loop BE going to the iPad, which it actually discovered. So as soon as everything's running, it actually discovers. If you're having a problem discovering this, it's probably because you're not running the TouchOSC on your iPad. So or there's some networking issue, and you're maybe not on the same network, or a firewall's blocking something or something like that. Now this is important. This is how you'll know if things are working. Now you can see that I have some tracks here, and I'll start this up. So here's the intro. I'm doing the A piece now. Go to the B piece. So you can see the sequence is all working. So also what's important is when this is really, let me stop the stop all the stuff here. This is really important. When you're on the drums, I don't have any drums loaded up, but if you see here, when I hit the drum pad, I get a green indicator light right here. I also get an indicator light over here in the corner. If I'm not seeing that light, then I don't got my ports right or something, and then my drum pads won't work, or my keys on this synthesizer won't work correctly when I've mapped those out. So it's weird because the launcher will work, the mixer will work, the sequencer will work, but the drums and the keys won't work. So make sure you get those ports right, and so forth. So here's what's really cool about using the TouchOSC is when we go and we open up another demo here, or project I should say, in Ableton Live. All right, we've got our project here. and you'll see it's all named and everything, intro, build it. And then we look over here, and we have everything as updated on the screen. So I get actually updated information. If it's not updating this information, then there's communications is not happening right. So you should get basically feedback on all this. So as soon as I start the intro, I should see all these moving and the pieces moving around that and things blinking. If I'm not seeing that stuff, then there's some sort of communication, and I need to start back from the beginning and make sure that I have all these pieces in place. So hey, this is how you use TouchOSC with Ableton Live Intro. It's a little bit of a weird setup, but hey, it's worth it. Once you get this up, you start making your own live performances and really start doing some cool stuff in Ableton Live. All right, guys, thanks for watching.